Okay, I want to turn to the science portion of our show right now, the science portion, because I'm going to introduce you to a guy I've known for some time who is a roofer, but he's more into science, in my opinion, than he is into roofing. And that's how they kind of come together that way. Josh Carrion is his name. Hi, Josh.
Hello, Bill.
And Josh runs a company called Legacy Roofing, which I guess you're pretty much throughout all of northern Utah, aren't you, Josh?
Just about, yes.
Okay, so you're a roofer. I have done roofing, but I am not into the science. You're just kind of the more I get to know you, you're kind of a science geek, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
How's that work and how's that work into roofing?
Well, I started in waterproofing, and when I was younger, I went to a science camp, and we had to waterproof a slope, and by channeling water through so it wouldn't penetrate the valley at the bottom. And so it was really cool just seeing the water flow and the way that we had to lay these different sticks and straws and things like that to be able to get it to the end, and the team with the most water at the end wins. And so it was it really started a passion for water flow, and that just transfers right over to roofing.
Well, well, it does. So I guess you can sell me a roof, but sell me the science, I guess, right? Is that
Yeah,
how that
so
works?
yeah, roofing, a pitched roof like this is not waterproof, it's water shedding. And so there are underlayments that we put down underneath shingles that waterproof the roof underneath. But these shingles, these separate pieces of asphalt, are not waterproof. You put it in a bathtub, it's still going to get wet. So if you layer them the right way, you can channel that water to flow off the roof. And though it's not waterproof, if water is sitting on the roof, or this roof were flat and water was, if it was sitting in water, like, it would obviously be wet. But when it's pitched, you've got to let the water flow the right way for it to get off the roof and not into the house.
But you still have to have something underneath it, right?
You sure do. So those underlayments that we put on here, we put ice and water barrier, and then we put felt paper, and those underneath the roof shed the water off if water penetrates up under the shingles. And sometimes it
Okay.
does in the winter, but the main source of water shedding are your shingles up top.
And does it matter what kind of, what do you call it? It was water shedding, and then there's a second layer underneath the shingles, and all of that has to be made a certain way.
That's right. You've got to lap the underlayments the right way. The underlayments are made of two components. You have ice and water barrier that sticks to the wood sheathing, and then you have felt paper that is not a sticky substance. It's just rolls of paper that you lay. And if you overlap those in the wrong way, then they're not going to waterproof anything.
Speaking of that, and speaking of doing things right, and speaking of doing things wrong, I have heard from time to time about the manufacturer. Like for example, I think you use GAF. Is that what you like to use? GAF.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, but if you don't install it, these things have huge warranties, 10, 20 years, right?
Well, the actual warranty on these shingles is 50 years.
50.
And so, yeah, it's quite a long time. And in Utah, with the freeze thaw cycles and changes of season, you've got a lot of water that gets onto the roof. It freezes, it pops granules off. When you start to see fiberglass on the roof, or the roof is worn out, it's time to replace it before water penetrates and gets into the home. And so GAF warranties for 50 years.
That's right. But I have heard where if it's GAF or even another company, sometimes if it's not done just right, by the installer, that would be you, or your competitors. If it's not done just right, the company won't honor the warranty. Is that correct?
You're correct. It is a workmanship. They have a workmanship detail that you have to install it properly. And they inspect one of probably every 10 roofs that we install, come out with their certified factory inspectors, and they'll make sure that all of the install details are proper. That's what maintains our Master Elite status with GAF. And we're one of only 9 in the state.
Mastery leak status. Tell me, what's that? I've never heard of that.
So GAF Master Elite is a status that only 2% of roofers reach. you have to have so many roofs inspected by GAF. You have to have your workmanship details installed properly. You have to really nail the details. That's one of our core values. And so if you have installed enough roofs with the inspections and you can prove to GAF that you're a worthwhile risk as a roofer to install their product, then they'll warranty it for 50 years.
Have you ever failed?
I've gotten a 9 on one inspection out of 10, and it was because the overlap of the ridge cap on one piece, but we were able to come back on a punch list and fixed it.
That's right. And you learn from that and you haven't failed since. I'm out of time, but when I want to talk to you again, and the next time we talk, I want to talk about the Tesla roof, the one that absorbs the sun's energy and converts it into energy for the house. Okay.
That sounds good.
All right. Josh Carrion. He is the president of Legacy Roofing. He's based in Layton, but does stuff all throughout northern Utah. See you next time, Josh.
Thanks, Bill. See you later.
All right.
That'll do it for this edition of the Bill Gephardt Show podcast. And now for the latest in local breaking news coverage 24/7, check out GephardtDaily.com. See you next time.